Hi, Anisha.
Hi, Bhagyashree. Just one quick question. Any particular thing that you need that I should be covering or I should not be doing? Any particular such guidelines?
Nothing as such. Like fairly, we'll just take queries from all the students who are joining us here. So yeah, we'll majorly focus on the queries, right?
On their queries only. Okay.
Yeah, and
That
I think we have a small little questionnaire that we had for NMAT, so we can start off with that maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I actually made a presentation where I can explain them the paper pattern.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, if you want, just let me know. We can definitely have the presentation. We can definitely
You want
start
me to
off.
show it to you right now? It's just to get a fair idea.
Yeah, if you like, can have a glimpse of that.
Done. So usually whenever I take even our classes, so I give them like exam ka pattern, and this is the paper pattern of the exam.
Yeah.
Explain them that what is the difference, because it's like a little adaptive and ye wo sab samjha do, to
it's good enough. It's good enough. I think it's better like we can start off with what exactly this exam is, and then we can start with the presentation.
Done.
I think they're joining us, so we can like keep this off and we can start with this. This would be good enough. Can start sharing your queries. We will start the webinar at sharp 5, right? So we'll have a lot of discussion about NMAT exams. We know the topic. So just start dropping all your queries. So sharp 5, we would start this webinar and start sharing all your queries, and we'll have a lot of discussion about this exam. So whatever queries you have regarding this exam, you can start putting it in here in the Q&A section. I would recommend do not use the chat session. Just share your query in the Q&A, and I'll definitely like pick up your queries from there itself, right? So let's see who all are joining us here in the chat. Can we see some hellos and highs over here? Who all are joining us here for this session today? Who all are attending, who all are going to sit for this exam, and what other exams are you prepping up for MBA? Just share your things over here. Before we start the webinar, let's have a quick chat session here. Hi, Anand. Thank you for your query. So who all are planning to sit for NMAT, and what colleges are you aiming at? Let's have some answers here, guys, in the chat. I want to see some of your queries, some of your chats coming here. And quickly, all of you can like join in. Okay. Okay, Anand, that's great. I think we have the perfect person today on the panel to answer you that, because she's an alumni from the same institute, right? So you can have all your queries from her itself. That's great. That's great. Can I have more answers? Who all are planning to sit for NMAT? What all colleges are you aiming at? And what all MBA entrance exams are you prepping up apart from NMAT? Let's have some answers here, guys, please. I could see a lot of you joining. Hitesh, Harshil, Anushka, Megha, Prashant, Shaurya, Shivam. Hope all of you are doing good, keeping safe. Thank you, Hitesh, for your question. We'll definitely take up your query. Who else is planning? Like Anand is here for NMIMS. He'll be sitting for NMAT, right? That's great. Who else is planning for this exam or for, similar pattern of MBA entrances? Let's have some answers here. And I'll also share few queries as well, right? I'm waiting for all of you to join quickly, and then we can like start off, right? Okay, I'm also sharing our social media handles. A lot of you were asking about that. Where are we posting all notifications? So I'm just dropping all our social media handles. So don't forget to follow us here, subscribe our channel. And, these webinars will be there updated on YouTube channel. So these webinars will be available throughout. So a lot of you had queries like, where can we see these videos? Will this be recorded or not? So these are recorded and these will be uploaded on YouTube channel. I'm sharing our YouTube channel link as well. So please do subscribe our YouTube channel, because all the exam preps that we are doing will be uploaded. In fact, we have started already uploading it on YouTube. So anytime you want to revisit, you can always go back and, have a look, right? And regarding all the notifications, it's there on our LinkedIn pages. We post all the related content, like whatever we are planning up on this LinkedIn and on other social media pages, right? So do follow us there to get like notifications. I want to see all your answers coming here. Who all are preparing, like apart from Anand, who all are here for the exam and getting some preparation tips? Just 2 minutes more. Priya Vrat. Okay, Priya. So like, what exam are you preparing for? Like NMAT? And apart from NMAT, any other exam that you're preparing? And what colleges are you looking at? Let's have some chat session here, guys, before we start the session. And share your queries in the Q&A. Whatever doubts you have, you want to ask from the panelist, right? She's here to guide you. She'll be like answering your queries. She'll be sharing a lot of visual things with you on screen. So please make good use of this platform. I would love to see more queries, guys, coming from all of you. Okay, Nishma, right. So you're also looking for NMIMS. That's great. Okay, Ajay Saple, I think you have raised your hand. You can just share your query here. Okay, NMAT only. All right, Priyavrata. Ajay, you can drop your query here in the chat, right? Colleges accepting ZAT other than XILR. Okay. Okay. You can drop your query in the Q&A rather than in the chat. All right. All right. What else doubt you have? I want to see all your queries in the Q&A, please. So can we start? Let's start with the session. Just start dropping your queries, guys. I would love to see all your queries here. Chalo, okay. Let's start off with the session then. Anisha, I think we can start.
Okay, all right.
Just give me a second. I'll briefly just start with this. Okay, I think they are here and more will be joining in as we start.
Done. Sure.
So good evening and welcome to another very amazing session on Shiksha. I am Bhagyashree, your moderator for this session. And of course, we know the topic for today's session for the next 60 minutes is all about preparing for NMAT exams. Now, what all NMAT exam is about and how do you prep? How do you get into the reputed institutes? What all preparation and strategies you all need to follow? So I know there are a lot of queries that you have. A lot of you are like, you have answered that, yes, you're preparing for NMAT and you want to get into NMIMS. So I think we have the best expert we can have for this particular session. So let me extend my warm welcome to Anisha Mukhija, who is a student mentor from CATKing and alumni of NMIMS. So I think she is the best person to guide you on this. And how did she crack the exam and what all her experiences, all I think those things will really help you to move ahead and take ahead this exam. So Anisha, thank you so much for being with us on Shiksha's webinar platform.
Thank you so much, Bhagyashree, for that warm welcome as well. So hi, everybody. Welcome on board. Quick check. I am audible to all of you guys out here?
I think all of you can hear both of us clearly. We are both visible clearly.
Yes.
Great.
Okay, that's lovely. Good to see all of you. I was reading some of your messages which were coming up and the queries as well, how to get into NMIMS, how to get NMAT, or what is the NMAT exam all about. So let's do one thing. What I'm going to do is I will first quickly go ahead and explain you about the NMAT exam, the cutoffs that you need to get, or the target scores you need to keep in mind for NMIMS Mumbai, of course, and the other NMIMS campus programs as well also. We'll take a look at the syllabus so that for all the people who are also preparing for other exams, be it CAT, ZAT, what's the difference and where do you need to prepare. And in case you guys have any more queries and questions post that, I would love to take that up for you. All right. So let's quickly get started with the same. And Bhagyashree's already given you guys a brief introduction about me. So yes, I did my MBA from NMIMS Mumbai in 2015, whereas back then the cutoffs used to be somewhere around 210, 208. That was the range. It was the non-adaptive time of the exam. Now the pattern has changed. The cutoffs have increased. So it's not that because I gave it long back, I'm not aware of your patterns right now. I have been training students at CATKing for the past 8 years for NMAT exam. interviews preparation, everything. So I'm not sure if anybody has seen any of my other videos. If you guys have seen, great. Some of the things might be a little repeat for you then, but you guys can feel free to ask any doubts pertaining to NMAT. I'll make sure I take it up for you. Post my NMIMS, I just made sure I did a little executive management from Harvard, and I worked in the industry as well, where I worked for marketing for Marico and Henkel. So in case you all have any questions with respect to your profile, and if there is time, I will help you in that as well. All right. So first thing first, let's quickly understand your paper pattern for NMAT exam. So guys, this is very important. Whenever you decide you want to take up any exam, whichever exam it is, first thing you need to do is understand the paper pattern and the structure of the exam so that you know what are you going to be giving, right? Unless you understand that, it's very difficult to channelize your entire preparation. Okay. So when you look at the NMAT paper pattern, this has changed over the past 2 years. Okay. Now, from the past 2 years, we have a total of 108 questions and 120 minutes time. Okay. So this is a good thing. All the sections, we have equal number of questions now. That means 36 questions in quants and data interpretation, logical reasoning, and language skills. Language skills is nothing but your verbal ability, which we refer to as verbal in all the other exams. Okay. So 3 sections, 36 questions in each. What is most important is my time management. Why we say NMAT is a time management based exam? Because the time for each section is very less as compared to what you could have sat and aram se agar karna hai solve, wo aap CAT mein ya CMAT exam mein aap kar sakte ho. It's not feasible here because of the time limit which we have, right? So in quants and DI section, 36 minutes, 36 questions ke liye you have 52 minutes time. For logical reasoning section, we have 40 minutes time. For verbal section, we have 28 minutes time. So that's the time constraint. You can clearly see that the maximum time crunch you're going to face is going to be in your verbal section. Because 28 minutes is, that means I have less than 1 minute per question, right? So that is the exam structure. Now, when you look at the scoring of the exam is such that, so it is basically, you need to understand first, there is no negative marking. Okay. There is no fixed marking as well. Like usually +3 for a correct question, -1. That's the structure of CAT exam, right? That's not the case here. Here, you're going to get the exam based on how adaptive the paper has been moving ahead. Okay. So overall, it's out of 360. That stays constant. Minimum you can get is 36. Okay? Each section you can get minimum 12 and maximum 120 marks. All right. How is this scoring done is, if I make a graph, let's say here on the right bottom, this axis, I have got the difficulty level of the questions or number of questions. Here, let's say number of questions. Here, this axis, I have put level of difficulty of the question. So with every few set of questions, the level of difficulty will keep on increasing. If you are able to solve, I will keep on increasing the difficulty level for you. Let's say, for example, let's take Ajay here is there. He gave, wo atak gaya yahan pe. Iske baad ke sab questions difficult wale, he's not able to solve. So instead of asking more questions, difficult category say, where he will go wrong, the paper will give you moderate or the level which you were able to solve, ya usse lower level ke questions only. Okay, so that is what we mean by an adaptive exam. So when you look at all the Indian exams, NMAT is the only adaptive exam. That means it's based on your capability. If you are good, you have done good preparation, you're able to solve tougher questions, you will keep getting tougher questions. If you have not been able to do tough questions before, to hame tough questions nahi aayenge, right? Difference, iska score zyada hoga, inka score kam hoga. Obviously, right? Because you have solved easier questions. So that is how your scoring is done for each and every section. Just a quick check. Is everybody clear with respect to the paper pattern and the scoring? Any questions with respect to this? Let me know.
If you have any query, like instead of raising hand, just drop here in chat. Anyone wants to ask anything about the pattern? Clear? Okay. I think they're clear about
Okay,
it.
clear.
Okay.
Lovely. That is great. Now, few things which you need to keep in mind is that first thing you have to do is you do not have the option of review available. When you are attempting the paper, you usually have this habit, no, I will mark for review, or I will flag and I will come back to it later on. That doesn't exist. Once you attempt a question, you cannot come back. So there is no toggling between the questions. Secondly, until you mark an answer, the next question will not come. So essentially, you have to attempt all questions. Last May, usually what people face time crunch is you don't attempt all 36 questions. Let's say आपने 30 attempt किए हैं, 6 you have left blank. So then it is going to be a huge problem because you get negative marks if you leave questions unattempted. Okay? So you have to manage your time well in such a way that you are able to solve all 108 questions in 120 minutes time. If last May time crunch hai, you're not getting an idea, do smart guess, but make sure you're attempting all the questions and finishing it off, because losing because you did not even see the questions is not worth it, right? So ensure that you attempt each and every question. Okay, so that's what you have to keep in mind. This is essentially the whole idea behind the NMAT paper pattern, as well as the adaptive structure, which it has been from the last 2 years. Okay, very good thing is NMAT exam scores, you will get it immediately. Usually you finish the exam, you have your scores in hand. Up to 48 hours is written on their website, but wo immediately hi mil jata hai. So you know whether you stand a chance or you do not stand a chance in NMIMS and the other colleges as well. In fact, there are some 40 plus colleges which will accept your NMAT score. Right now, put your focus on NMIMS Mumbai and only NMIMS Mumbai, the first and the most important college. Rest all of them will be, you can see once you have your scores in hand, where and what to go ahead with. All right. So that's the main thing. The second biggest advantage that you have, first advantage I told you was NMAT is your only adaptive exam based on your capability. Second biggest advantage of NMAT exam is you will choose the order of the sections. Like let's say you are someone who's very good at quants, you can start with quants. If you're someone who loves verbal, start with verbal. You want to start with LR, you decide. So the entire sequence you can choose. You can do verbal, quants, DI, then the LR section, or you can do verbal, LR, quants, start with quants, then do verbal, last may do LR, whatever you like. So it's in your hand. The best way to go about it is pick up mock tests. Give as many mocks as you can so that you are able to understand which section you are good at and start with that section. Try some strategies, which section ka kya approach karke works better for you. That will be able to give you a better idea at the final exam kya karna chahiye. If you ask me, my recommended strategy for everybody, which has worked wonders for a lot of students, is start with language skills, move to logical reasoning, and then move to quants and DI. So essentially, we are going in the reverse order. We start with verbal because there's so much to read. There's a huge passage. Reading comprehension questions take time, right? But in the start of the exam, you're always more fresh. You are more enthusiastic. You're not sleepyhead. So you will start with verbal, finish it quickly, then go to LR, where a little bit of analytical skills is required, especially in verbal reasoning questions, input-output questions. I will come to and explain you the syllabus also. It will help you out. And last is your quants and DI section, which is more mechanical in nature. All right. So that is how you go about with respect to the sections and the approach. All right. In case you all do not have an idea where and how to go about with it, तो कोई भी mock test दे दो, थोड़ा सा idea आ जाएगा. You have even the NMAT website itself gives you 2 free mocks. If nothing, you guys can go and check out CATKing as well, wherever you like. But make sure you're practicing. Time management, practice is the most important thing. Okay. Then one thing which I think in the start someone had asked me is, what's the score you look at to get into NMIMS, right? So this is a very, very, very important slide. In fact, you guys can take a screenshot of this and keep, so that it's registered in your head forever. What is the score you have to target? I am giving you 2 years ka cutoffs, both the years when the exam was adaptive. Simple reason being, don't assume कि अगर एक साल cutoff, let's say 232 था, तो this year also it will be the same. The cutoff depends on how everybody else performs, right? What is the entire batch ka scores? A difference in 2020, NMIMS was accepting best of the 3 scores. In 2021, NMIMS put a new rule that only the first attempt scores will be taken. So I hope you guys know NMAT exam, it's over a window in October to December. Dates are not yet announced. I'm sure once it is announced, you guys will get the notifications up on Shiksha's website as well. Tentative dates, which usually it follows, is 5th to 7th October. You can expect the first day of the exam, and it goes up till 20th to 25th December. In this entire window, you can take the exam anytime you want. You will book your slot. You will choose your date, day, time, everything. You can also choose the venue. You choose the centers which are available. And if not the centers, you can take it at home as well. If at home you're taking, I would say please ensure you have an amazing tech setup, then do it at home. Otherwise, you're risking it. क्योंकि कुछ mistake हो जाए, electricity चली गई, Wi-Fi बंद हो गया, your attempt is lost. Nobody is going to give you another chance. Okay, so make sure you take that risk at your own risk when everybody says, right? तो वो सोच समझ के करना. That's what you have to keep in mind. And secondly, once you have the dates, plan your first attempt well. So someone had asked, when should you give it, before or after CAT? Personal suggestion, give it before CAT. Get done with the exam. This is easier than CAT. So your CAT is also well spaced out, क्योंकि CAT के बाद आपके पास बहुत exams हैं. 2 weeks after CAT, you will sit and write IIFT, you have to write SNAP, you have to write MyCAT, ZAT, then TISNET. So it just keeps on coming. Too many exams, right? So preferably pull up your socks right now. You have 4 months in hand before October is there. Finish your preparation and give NMAT before CAT and get done with it. Okay. After that, you also have the time to give second and third attempt if you want to give, because that will be accepted across other colleges, right? NMIMS, if it's again going back to best of 3, by August end, when their forms open out, it should be available and information is be out. If it is taking best of 3, your party is on. Life is going to be very easy with being best of the 3. Nahi hai to aim for the first attempt to be the best scores. Okay. Yes, Aryan, there is sectional cutoffs. So what I have put up as this scores, this is your overall and sectional cutoff. Okay. So if you look at the programs that NMIMS has, NMIMS Mumbai has 3 main programs: the Mumbai Core Program, HR, and DSA. DSA is Data Science and Analytics, which is in collaboration with Purdue College. For all the 3 programs, overall cutoff is 232, Quants 70, LR 71, and last is your verbal section, where in verbal section, the cutoff usually is higher because it was easier last year. So that is 76. Okay? Now, this cutoff again varies on how everybody else has been performing and what has been the score range people have got based on the performance. So once the exam starts, you get a couple of days, you will start seeing the NMAT analysis also being published across. So make sure you follow that to get a fair idea कि क्या cutoff हो सकता है. That's not the final, but more or less it comes around the same as well. In fact, we have been doing with Shiksha the analysis from past 6 years and it's been pretty accurate, right? So make sure कि तुम follow कर रहे हो to get an idea what can be the cutoffs, what's your target scores you need to aim for if you are giving the exam, not in the first week. It will be very helpful for you, okay? How many maximum, okay, Hitesh, I'll just take up your question as well. How many times you can attempt maximum? Well, maximum you can attempt is 3 times. So you have 3 attempts, okay? And 3 attempts में से first wala is considered by NMIMS as per what the rule was last year. Okay, so that's what you have to keep in mind. If you are planning to, Hitesh, give after CAT, it's absolutely fine. There is no restriction कि you should not give it after CAT. आप दे सकते हो CAT के बाद. अगर आपका preparation अच्छा नहीं हुआ है तो पहले देके, there's no point. Give it after CAT. Give the exam when you are very sure कि I will be able to clear the cutoff. Your benchmark should not be this cutoff. Target score, which I suggest all the students, is overall aim for a 240 score, and in each and every section aim for 80 score. That means आप sectional cutoff for sure clear karoge and overall bhi clear karoge. Because here, if you do not meet any one section cutoff, you miss it by 1 mark also, you will not get a call. There are a lot of people who have an overall score of 280, but quants did not meet 70. You will not get, right? So that's the problem. Abhishek, NMIMS Mumbai main core program is called as the MBA flagship program, which is where you will choose your specializations like marketing, finance, operations, IT, that which is offered in every other college also. That is called as NMIMS Mumbai MBA. Okay. For that only the cutoff is 232 and the sectional cutoff. Okay. NMIMS Bangalore and Navi Mumbai, the overall was 224, quants 64, LR 65, verbal 70. Hyderabad and Indore, initially the cutoff released was 210 with sectional cutoff of 60 in quants and LR, 65 in verbal. Same was the cutoff for digital transformation program as well. This digital transformation is a new program that started 2 years back in NMIMS Mumbai campus itself. Earlier, it was with the College of Excellence, which is the analytics program college. This year, it has been moved to School of Business Management. That's not making much of a difference to you right now. When you will get into the college, you see and understand the placements and the process, the faculties, there it makes a difference. Okay. So that's something which you can look at to apply. After almost a week or so, NMIMS Hyderabad and Indore cutoffs were lowered down. So from 210, it was reduced to 200, the same as what it was the previous year. So they made it 200 with all the sections 55. Okay, this is what was the reduced cutoffs, same as last to last year. Okay, the year before that, if you see, your all the other programs cutoffs was higher. NMIMS Mumbai was 235 with 76 in each section. Bangalore and Navi Mumbai was 230 with all the sections being at 73. So that is why I'm saying be safe, target for a 240 overall and each section 80 so that it is helpful for each one of you. All right. That is with respect to now the paper pattern and the cutoffs. Some of the questions which I have not taken up right now is top colleges. Soham, I think Bhagyashree has shared the link with you. You can run through it with respect to what accept the NMAT exam. Hitesh, if you're not sure about the specialization, it's absolutely fine. Okay, you can do right now, take up some certification courses, do some internships, explore thoda to read and understand about these specializations, what interests you. That can help you take a decision by the end of the year which you want to go into. Even if by then you don't know, it's okay, because all good colleges, the first year is going to be common. Okay, so the first year is common. Second year, you choose your specialization. Okay, so that's where you have to focus on.
Yeah,
is everybody good?
I think we have some more queries. Okay, Tanisha is asking, is there any preference given to NM students in the PI, that's personal interview?
No, there is no preference with respect to, I'm guessing you're looking at, you are a graduate from NM, so you will have a better advantage. Well, that's not the case. You will have the advantage of being a girl. NMIMS from last 2 years has been giving preference, like 30% of the seats are for female candidates. So that's the advantage which you will have, nothing else. Priyavrat, NMIMS dual specialization. So how specialization works at NMIMS is, in the second year, you have a set of elective subjects which you have to take. So in our year, we had 15 subjects. Okay, 15 may say whichever I have 8, that's my specialization. Rest can be anything. So let's say you are someone who's confused between marketing and finance. 8 marketing liya, 7 finance liya, you can do. That becomes your dual specialization, right? Your degree is going to say MBA. It doesn't mention the specialization you have taken. So it's on you to make sure you explore all of them. There are a lot of people who do all 15. Abhi to that number of credits and subjects it has been increased to 21. So that logic will change. They will let you know which subjects you have available in option as well. Whichever is maximum, that's your specialization. The others can be anything.
All right. Let's come to some more queries. Okay.
Yes.
Hitesh is saying that if I want to give NMAT after CAT, is CAT preparation enough?
See, if you look at CAT preparation, it's not solely going to be enough because there are a lot of topics which is a part of NMAT syllabus and not a part of your CAT, especially when it comes to your verbal and your logical reasoning section. So I will cover up. I have the syllabus also listed up with me. I'll quickly walk you guys through that as well so that you understand what is the difference. And I think even Siddharth, you are asking about CAT and NMAT ka syllabus. To an extent, yes, CAT and NMAT syllabus is similar, but it is not of the same level. The difficulty level definitely is different. Yeah. The NMAT exam forms, you can expect it to come around July. Usually that's the time it comes in, July end, August first week. So stay tuned to it and you can apply. You'll get the updates. Just make sure you subscribe to all the possible channels to get your notifications in time.
Yes, and I think I've already shared the Shiksha page link where we'll be updating all notifications. So just keep a tab on that link. You'll get all the information on that one particular link. Okay. Okay. Hitesh is saying, am I required to solve all 36 questions in each section?
Yes, you have to. If you want to not get negative marks, you have to attempt all 36 questions in each section.
Any particular books to refer? Question from
Anand. And a good question. One of the books I'm sure you guys would have heard is NMAT Official Guide. That is made by NMAT by GMAC, the people who conduct your exam. So do take that book up and practice from the same. And still, you need more books, more practice. You can check out the CATKing's NMAT Maximizer books as well. We have made them aligned towards the NMAT official guide as well. And your CAT material should also be sufficing to get your basic concepts. There's a lot of difference in the syllabus. That points I will tell you. What topics के लिए आपको extra करना पड़ेगा. So if you are already preparing for CAT, थोड़ा सा push you need extra from the syllabus and time management for NMAT. Absolutely. That's the biggest difference. Your critical reasoning, Deepen, which you have mentioned, is definitely the major difference. So what I'll do is let me quickly tell you the difference which is there. Okay. So if I look at the syllabus and the difference part of it, in quants and data interpretation, you can have a quick look. The number of questions, this is suggestive. Okay, like I said, it's an adaptive exam. There is a possibility person A is getting no questions of PNC probability and person B has got 5 questions also, because it depends on the kind of level of questions which you have answered. Next questions uske basis pe aayenge, right? So you have to make sure, for that reason, you can't leave any topic. You have to do all the topics. CAT me, you can consider and assume for yourself that I will not study modern maths, I will not do probability because I don't like it. You can't afford that in NMAT because you have to attempt all 36 questions. So you have to study all the topics. Okay. So what is your syllabus? Numbers, you will have the numbers and remainder theorem. So all the properties of numbers with respect to HCF, LCM, factorization, the number system, cyclicity, remainder theorem, binomial theorem, everything will be a part here. You don't see remainder theorem questions in CAT because there's a calculator available there. NMAT, there is no calculator available. So you will get calculation intensive questions. In fact, that's the speciality of the NMAT data interpretation questions. They are going to be calculation intensive. Okay. Then you look at arithmetic, same as all exams. Arithmetic is one module which is common across every competitive exam. You have percentages, averages, ratios, simple and compound interest, profit loss, discounts, time and work, time, speed, distance. When you're studying time, speed, distance, it also involves your both sense streams, circular races, and race tracks, everything. Okay. Then comes your algebra, where you have equations, inequalities, sequence and series. Very Sometimes it comes maxima, minima, or functions based questions, but you should consider studying that also in your algebra part. In probability, it's essentially PNC probability. Sequence and series, that's your progressions. That's also a part of it. Set theory can come in quants or in LR as well. Essentially, it has been coming in LR in the last few years. Yes, you do not have geometry. That's a biggest advantage for a lot of students who hate geometry and mensuration. NMAT syllabus does not consist of geometry module altogether. But please do study it. Let's say when this year's official mock is released, usme geometry hai. That means geometry has reoccurred in your syllabus. Any which ways, you should not give just NMAT exam. You'll be giving other exams also. So geometry uske liye padhna hi hai. So that's something which you should not leave an option. But yeah, in the paper or the NMAT official guide of the last 2 years, if you see, there is no geometry and mensuration. Okay. The new extra thing which comes in here is your data sufficiency, which is not common to CAT, SNAP, these exams. Okay. Data sufficiency is nothing but questions are given. You have to say whether that information is enough to solve it or not. Okay. So that's your syllabus for quants and DI section. Then we look at your verbal section. So if I look at verbal section, we are going to look at the syllabus. Reading comprehension, you will have 3 RCs for sure. 3 RCs, each RC having 4 questions. That comes by default in almost all the papers. Sometimes some students have also got 4 RC passages. That becomes a little tougher for time management, but tumhare scores better honge in that case. Then comes paraforming. Paraforming is nothing but your para jumbles, para summary, odd one out of context, all of these type of questions. Para completion, that comes in here. Error identification is grammar based. Errors can be punctuation errors, whatever errors that come in the verbal syllabus. Then we have prepositions. Preposition questions are usually in the form of fill in the blanks or in the form of a closed passage, which is very typical of NMAT. There's a huge passage which has 5 blanks. So that could be vocab-based blanks or preposition-based blanks. Then comes your sentence completion. Last is analogies. This is very, very important and different. Analogies do not come in any other exam and they are not easy. Analogies of NMAT have always been moderate to tough level. So make sure you practice it out for sure. The best way to practice is solve the books and the mock tests. After October attempt, am I required to revise form for December attempt? So Ritesh, you will have to submit another form for every attempt. You will have to pay for each and every attempt, if that's what your question is with respect to revising the form.
Yeah, I think we have another question. Ma'am, is it worth to join NMIMS Bangalore? This is from Narsee question.
Very good. Nice question. Honestly, right now you don't have it in your hand. So don't think, is it worth to join or not? Focus on the exams, convert all the colleges, be in a position where you have 10 college admissions in hand. Yeah. Then you talk to seniors of all the colleges and then think whether it's worth it or not. Right now, your target should be eat, sleep, dream, the NMAT exam syllabus, paper pattern, understand, solve, practice, give mock tests, get a 240 plus score.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we have another question from Marazban. Which mocks would you suggest?
Well, if you ask me, I would suggest the mocks that I am monitoring, which is your NMAT mocks by CATKing. Not because I am the one who has made it. It's made by all NMAT toppers with a team of people who have given these exams. And we have a little different approach. When I say I have a different approach, so exam is adaptive. So you need to practice the adaptive mocks, but you also need to practice non-adaptive mocks, wherein you are forced to solve difficult questions. What happens if you do only adaptive mocks की practice, आपका level जो आपका current level है उससे ऊपर कभी नहीं जाएगा. So when we give the non-adaptive mocks, it has a combination of moderate, difficult, easy, all questions. So you are able to solve all of them. You can understand that. So we given a combination of 20 mocks, which is a bifurcation of 50% adaptive, 50% non-adaptive. And with them, make sure you attend my classes. So I take a class every Saturday. That will help you structure it well. Okay. Hitesh, is mocks enough for preparation? Honestly, it's not enough for preparation. You need to have good study material to build your concepts. Then you take mock tests and then you spend more time analyzing. So if it's a mock which is of 2 hours, you should spend at least 6 hours analyzing it so that you know where you went wrong, how to improvise, and how to make sure same mistake is not repeated the next time. Okay? So that is something which you have to keep in mind. All right. Which app is best for NMAT or other MBA exams? Narsee, there are multiple apps. I would suggest you explore what you need. What is your weak area? Do you want full study material and the full course? Then you look at that. If you're looking at just for building vocabulary, then you can go ahead for that, right? So make sure you are exploring all your options available in that space. Hitesh, yes, definitely it will be helpful. Narsee, you can check out the CATKing's mocks as well. And you have some other mocks available as well. You have Olympod and TCY. A little easier than NMAT level, but practice ke liye, even they are good to give you a fair idea about the same. Okay. Pratik, GMAT paper pattern is different. The structure of the exam is different, but it is adaptive. The logic is same. In fact, GMAT kahi paper setter is your and GMAC Council. They have started NMAT. That's why they made it adaptive, being inspired from GMAT exam. Okay? The last section which you had is your LR section. Here again, a lot of difference in the syllabus. So, right. So critical reasoning module is the most significant and the most important module. 50% of LR paper is coming from critical reasoning, which does not come in your CAT exam. This is all questions like statement, assumption, conclusion, course of action, inference, strengthening, weakening the argument, everything. Then you have your analytical puzzles, which is the regular puzzles that come in every exam. Then you have input-output questions, again, which is very, very peculiar to NMAT exam. This is essentially, you can check out my detailed videos also on about how to approach input-output questions. Essentially, it says, kuch question diya hai, some logic is performed on the same. Based on that, you have to get your final answer. You need a lot of practice to master this type of question because it is very time consuming. Okay. The other reasoning may you get Venn diagrams, that's your set theory questions, syllogism questions. You can also get here, it's not just these two topics, matlab aapko easy questions bhi aa sakte hain, like a direction sense, blood relations. I can make a combination of these topics and make a puzzle as well. So essentially, all the topics you have to study for reasoning, verbal, quants and DI, all of it. Geometry is the only thing which you can leave because that is something which does not come.
Right. Anisha, is there any topic or I would say any particular subject or any section that the students can skip, or they have to like have all things in mind ready?
See, they should have all the things if they're aiming for NMIMS Mumbai, because you have to attempt each and every question.
Yeah.
But agar topic skip karna hi hai, geometry you can skip. And the other which you can skip is in quants, you can look at your PNC and probability, क्योंकि उसके question सबसे कम आते. You can be an exceptional person, bad luck हुआ तो कभी ज़्यादा भी आ जाएंगे, because वो adaptive exam है, so we can't predict it, right? Yeah. It's every question is pulled up from a pool of multiple questions. So that is something which is a risk. So to reduce your risk, don't leave anything.
And like if we talk about the differentiating factors that NMAT has from the other MBA entrance, because a lot of them are like asking for MAT and GMAT and CAT. So what are those differentiating factors of this exam? See, if you look at the major differentiating factors with respect to syllabus, in quants is your data sufficiency. That is not there in other exams. And other exams do have geometry, which we don't have here. That's the difference here. Second, if you look at verbal section, your entire difference is the set of questions of error identification, preposition, sentence completion, and analogies when you compare it to CAT and NMAT. If you look at the other exams like SNAP, NMAT,
Usme difference is only with analogies, because SNAP, ZAT, MAT also have basic grammar questions. Logical reasoning is same as compared to all the other exams. CAT से बहुत ही अलग है, क्योंकि CAT में LR के सिर्फ puzzles आते हैं या फिर LR and DI caselets आते हैं, right? Other all colleges do have this different subjects, but the major difference is the amount of weightage for critical reasoning. By default, everybody out of 36 had 16 to 18 questions of critical reasoning for sure in the entire last year. So वो आपको extra करना ही पड़ेगा. Input output questions come in only and only NMAT exam. So you have to study that. So that's the major difference in the syllabus. Other differences, if you ask me from the exam perspective, is you look at it being adaptive. That's no other exams are adaptive. You look at other sections, which is like your choosing the selection of the subject order. No other exam allows you that. It's an adaptive exam, which is not there in any other Indian exams. So these are the advantages there. And the last advantage being, or difference being, you get your scores immediately. So you know where and where to apply, especially all the non-NMIMS colleges, you can apply afterwards. For NMIMS Mumbai, you will have to fill a separate form. I think that was one of the questions Hitesh also had asked. You have to fill a separate form, and that has to be filled before you write NMAT exam. Form ka deadlines will be also announced, but that will always be before you write NMAT exam. आप स्कोर देख के नहीं डिसाइड कर सकते हो कि मुझे अप्लाई करना है कि नहीं करना.
Absolutely. Okay, any tips for freshers that who are also working currently? This question is from Sai Nikhil.
See, for freshers, I think 40% of the batch is freshers. So that means freshers are most welcome out there. The only thing you can do different is get some exposure through certifications and interviews where you can talk about that. So that helps to, make yourself different from other freshers, because your competition is against the other fresher. You're not competing against the WorkX person. You are a different bunch. So don't try to compare your profile with someone who has 3 years of experience. वो आपकी competition में नहीं है.
Okay. We have already answered this. There's no negative marking from Marazban. Okay.
So Marazban, I think you were joined in late. Watch the video again to understand it's an adaptive exam. So it has a negative impact, but there's no negative marking. With every set of questions, your difficulty level is increasing. If you're solving easier questions, so you are solving lesser marks ka weightage questions. That's a negative impact. If you leave questions unattempted at the end, you have negative marks associated to it, but nobody knows that. So ऐसा नहीं कि अगर 3 questions छोड़े तो कितना minus होगा, 2 छोड़े तो कितना minus होगा. That's not given. It's just that ki if you leave questions blank, there is negative marking. That's all the information given to everybody. When you will see the official pattern and everything released, that's the only thing announced.
Okay. Any suggestions to cover up whole syllabus properly? Question from Ravi.
So Ravi, best suggestion is put yourself onto a target. Every day, spend 1 hour studying each of the 3 sections. You will finish the entire syllabus for all the sections in the next, I would say, 1.5 to 2 months then. But you study 1 hour for each subject. Go one by one, topic wise. Official guide ko uthao, chapter wise karte jao. If you remember school days when we used to study, we would tick mark, no? Every chapter is done. Go in that synchronized order. Life will be easy. Full syllabus will be done.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Sai Nikhil is asking, does NMIMS offer any certifications while we prepare for NMAT?
NMIMS will not be offering any certifications. That is something which you yourself can do to build your profile from all the other sources. There are multiple websites where you have certification courses being offered.
Yeah, so I think you can refer to that queries. Okay. Another thing is what approach, Anisha, they need to have if they are targeting, scoring a 95 percentile? What kind of approach they need to have for this particular exam?
So basically, you need to have the approach towards this exam is get your concept sorted first, so then you can focus on time management. The major thing which is a problem for NMAT takers is always your time management. And time management shortcuts and techniques will not come to you until your concepts are clear, right? So focus on first level, get your concepts thoroughly done. Then you focus on managing time. That means how much time am I spending for each and every question. So if you honestly ask me, what I suggest is, even if not mocks, you're solving any book, that book also, when you're solving, put a timer to yourself. 30 minutes, how many questions you're able to solve. When you start, you will start by, in those 30 minutes, doing somewhere around 10 to 15 questions. Gradually level up ki 10 to 15 say I have to come to 30 questions in 30 minutes. Okay. Ravi, I've given you the books which you all can refer to. You have the NMAT official guide, you have CATKing NMAT books, you have Arun Sharma books, and you have mocks from all the places which you can get, and the official 2 NMAT mocks as well. So go ahead with that. RN, for an average student, honestly, I was an average student, but it's about how desperately you want to convert that college. You will put in that much efforts. So ideal time nahi hai, aisa kuch bhi, but I would say 3 months to 4 months is a good amount of time, where you can put 2 months in your basic concepts, 2 months in building your accuracy and your time management structure. Okay, so that's something there. Application process of NMIMS has not yet started. Stay glued. Probably August 1st week, you should have NMAT and NMIMS forms soon coming out. Abhi to kisi exam ke forms nahi aaye, so you'll have to be patiently, waiting for all the updates. You'll get an idea about the same. Okay. SciC, gap year. A gap year does not affect as long as you are able to justify it. So every college, be it NMIMS or any other college, in the interview, you have to prove why should they select you at this point of time. So what you did in that gap year is important. Things you can do in your gap year is, like right now, if you are in the gap year and you're only preparing for exams, do other things then. What extra things can you do? You can do certificate courses, you can do internships, you can do some small projects, you can do NGO volunteering work, all of these things.
So, Anisha, these kind of small experiences they have, or they're working. So, after that, they're sitting for the exam and going for PIs. So, does that kind of work that they have done during that gap year really affect the kind of profile they come up, like the overall presentation?
It definitely matters. See, the point is, I will compare you with someone who does not have the gap year, because you are both freshers. And then you have people who are from IITs and NITs, jinke curriculum mein hi mandatory hai to do internships, do vocational courses. So when they sit for interviews or they sit for placement, they have a full 1-page resume. And if we have a half-page resume, so we don't stand out, right? So the objective is that you have to make yourself unique to stand out in the interview, because everybody has cleared the cutoff. So that is the chance that you have to keep in mind.
So that really works for the students. If you're doing some kind of work, experience matters. All right. Okay. Rashi, I was slightly late, but is a good profile required to get into NMIMS Mumbai?
So it is required. I would say definitely required, because we should look at the final selection parameter. Okay. How it goes is, first you're writing NMAT exam. Then you're giving the interviews and what or case discussion. When it was COVID online, it was a written ability test. Before that, it used to be a case discussion. So NMIMS ka selection parameters kaise hai? 50% is to your NMAT scores. Then you have 30%, which is to your WAT and PI. Jisme usually it's 10% WAT, 20% PI. Rest you're left with 20%. That is based on your work ex, your past academics, your profile, everything else, right? So to get that 20%, your profile is good.
Right time to apply for NMIMS? Does applying early increases your chance to get admitted?
No, date doesn't matter. Just make sure you don't miss the deadline to apply early to be safe. Don't get into the last day, then you have technical glitches, payment in process. That makes you lose out a year. So don't do that. Otherwise, applying early, it's not like global colleges. Everybody is having equal chance who has applied to the college and who has cleared the cutoff. That's what matters.
Right.
Aryan, I
Yeah.
suggested consider October because two reasons. One, you finish one exam before CAT, you are less stressed. Second, usually the difficulty level of the overall NMAT is easier in October as compared to November, December. So that is why I suggest October. And that's for every year because the exam usually is in October, November, December, these 3 months.
Yeah. So like probably if you have any more questions, like quickly drop in. Meanwhile, I'm just launching this poll. So you can just start filling up this feedback poll, like how was the overall session? Was all your queries answered regarding this particular exam? Is there anything that you would like to ask Anisha, or anything else? Just start dropping. Last few queries we'll take up meanwhile you're filling up this form. Presentation for, no, we're not sharing the presentation, but you could take the screenshots. And let me tell you that this entire video will be there on our YouTube channel. So do not worry that you have missed out some part of this session. You can always like go back to the entire video and stop the video, take the screenshots, because I think Anisha has shared the entire thing. So just, in fact, even I shared a PNG image from there. So just take help from that and take up those images, right? So that would help you. Okay. Can I prepare for NMAT instead of CAT?
Definitely, you can easily do only CAT exam or only NMAT exam as well. Syllabus is more or less similar for certain basic subjects, which I have covered up already, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't want to write CAT, you can give only NMAT. No concerns in that.
There's a real debate.
So Apurva, it depends on the debate. You check out on the past year students giving the exams. It definitely does increase a little bit, but why it is not tougher for everyone is because by then you are done with writing your CAT, IIFTs, and you are better prepared. So that is why you don't feel it that difficult. But no hard and fast rule कि हर साल अक्टूबर वाला easiest होगा, ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. It's just that I'm saying usually it's on the easier side in October as compared to December. And you take, if you have to give only one attempt for NMIMS, which if it comes in August, then you take it when you are fully mentally prepared and ready to write the exam.
Is there any more query that you have? Yeah. Sachin, I think we have already answered about the attempts, right? So just go through that video. Is there anything else that you're unsure or you have a doubt? Like quickly drop in your last few queries before we wrap up the session. And I hope that the session was, I would say, fruitful to all of you. I mean, I think all your queries were answered here and she has covered the entire syllabus, right? So all these CAT, ZAT, NMAT, SNAP, and CMAT are conducted from October to January.
Yes. So all the exams, if you ask me, CAT is in November, ZAT is in Jan, NMAT is October to December. Last year, there was an extended window which came out in Jan. So you can consider till Jan. SNAP, you have 3 dates, 1 December, 2 in Jan. You can choose any of the 2 dates and you can give the exam. CMAT officially is always either in February. Last 2 years, because of COVID, it has been in March end. So depends on how it goes this year. So it's not that WorkX is really important. Like I said before also, 40% of your batch is a fresher, all freshers, right? So as freshers, how do you make your profile different from other freshers? You will go ahead and take up some courses, some internships. That adds value to your overall profile. Okay.
Placements.
Placements. Okay. Placements. Best thing you need to do is check out the NMIMS official placement report. But if I have to give you the quick highlights of the placements, it's doing really well. The average package is 23 lakhs from last year, 2022 batch. The highest has been 57.65 lakhs. Okay. And this is for Mumbai core program. If you look at HR, it's a little lesser than that. But you will get that also. It's been doing well, around 20 lakh plus packages you're getting in HR as well. And it's a huge batch. That's one of the major concerns people always have. But the 600 people there, you take it as your opportunity to learn from more people, better peer learning. And that essentially will help you to be more competitive. So anybody who joins NMIMS, I always tell you this one thing: take it with a pinch of salt. You are not tier 1, you are not tier 2. You are in tier 1.5 when you look at NMIMS, right? I am myself from NMIMS and very proud of being from there. So not that I'm saying it's at a lower level, but you have to learn to fight and compete, and that batch of 600 teaches you that very well. So that's something that's an advantage. Yes, Megha, we do definitely prepare for NMAT. We have courses, mock tests, everything. I take class every Saturday for NMAT as well. So you can just check out CATKing's website, or you can reach out to us through any of our social media channels as well.
Yes. So I think I've already tagged Anisha, so you can reach out to her on LinkedIn as well. And if you need any guidance, just go ahead with that and she'll be there. Guide or book which is helpful in preparation. I think Ravi, we did share that. I think Anisha has like repeated that twice or thrice. Just go through that video. That's so good to hear, Dipen, that the session was helpful. Definitely, we are coming up with more sessions with Anisha, so don't worry. She's there to guide you with a lot of MBA sessions that we are planning ahead. So yes, apart from NMAT, we'll be coming up with more sessions with her itself, and there'll be more faculties with her along. So don't worry on that. We are planning up sessions. And once we are done, we'll definitely, at least I'll put up all the notifications on LinkedIn. So please just keep a tab on our LinkedIn profile. I'll put all the notification and the links, right? So you can always go through that. For abroad masters, what exactly you mean by abroad masters, Mansi, if you can like clarify me a bit. Thank you, Priyavrat. I think the session was helpful. I think Anisha has explained, I think all the things that was possibly here, all your queries was answered. GMAT, right? Okay. So Anisha, I think we need to gear up for GMAT for the next session.
Done. I shall be there for your GMAT, GMAT and GRE both. We will take it up, which all colleges. So I think Mansi is looking for MS in finance. We can discuss the profile and your universities that you can look at it. So we'll take that up further ahead.
Absolutely. So this is a very important feedback that I look after. Like if you're looking for GMAT, so definitely we are coming up with GMAT for the next session. I'll put up the details very, very soon. Right. Thank you so much. It's good to hear. Session was crisp and clear. All right. So I think it's time to wrap up the session. I think we had a lot of discussions, a lot of queries that got answered, and we are glad that the session was helpful to you. That is what these counseling webinars aims at. This is the objective, that we are coming up with so many different people, from across the country, and definitely keeping up with your suggestions. We'll be holding more, repetitive such MBA sessions, particularly for all the exams coming up. So don't worry, we'll definitely plan up for such more, right? And Anisha, thank you so very much, for conducting the session so well and answering like all the queries that students have.
My pleasure. So thank you so much, guys, for joining in, and all the best. Stay connected. And if there's something else you want me to assist you can drop me a note on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to help you.
Absolutely. So thank you, all of you, and all the very best, and keep up like with all your suggestions. So definitely have more sessions coming up.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Bhagyashree, for today.
Thank you, Anisha. Thank you, everyone.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel.